was giving me flashbacks of Donington. I was like, go on boys, go on, get into each other. You can have a bit more than that.
Yeah.
We're in a good point scoring place all the way through. Just be a bit boring again. And, you know, I know it's becoming a bit of a habit, but I'm also aware that we've yet to have a win so far.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. You?
Great.
Good.
Although I'm in shorts and it's gone quite cold.
Yeah, I did say that was a.
You did say that. You did say that this morning.
But I did say you've got lovely brown legs.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to notice.
Welcome back to the series.
Thank you.
Where we go back over last year and have a look what happened and where are we?
Have you come up with a jingle? Sorry, we're at Snetterton.
Snetterton.
Have you come up with a jingle yet?
No, and we've not been sent any jingles. Send them straight to Tom Ingram or me, but maybe send them to him. So we're at Snetterton.
We are, yes, sorry.
You love Snetterton.
I do really like Snetterton.
And you loved it last year. Should we have a little look?
Yeah, let's have a gander.
Right. So here's.
What am I doing there? Trying to start a lawnmower?
I don't know what you.
I was trying to start a lawnmower.
It's from.
Just go back. So go right back to the start here.
It's from.
Was I trying to start a lawnmower?
Let's have a look. Hold on.
Oh, stretchy bands. The warm up, the band things.
However, now you're going to think of. So here we go. Race one.
Race one. Yeah, it was so hot. How hot was it last year?
You know what? I'm pausing that.
Oh,
35, I think it was.
Gosh, and what usually happens is that the inside the car is normally 20 to 25 degrees above ambient, and it was like, was it 35 degrees or something?
35 degrees, yeah.
So you had 20 degrees to that.
That's mental.
More athletes, aren't we?
Here we go. So BMWs, race one.
Yeah, that first race was a bit of a boring one almost. It was a bit of just a BMW romp off into the distance.
Yeah.
It was kind of the highlight of that whole weekend actually. The BMs were just really strong.
Yeah.
When we tend to get to those summer races,
yeah,
that's where they come into their own, you see. So that's where we have to start trying to just get everything we can out of it and try to if they trip up, try and pounce. But other than that, they were so fast here last year.
It's funny because when we did our chat about Donington, you were behind a couple of BMWs.
Yeah.
They kind of tripped over each other.
Yeah.
Do you feel that they'd learned their lesson?
Yeah,
here?
unfortunately so.
So on the podium, here in third, we're going to go into race two. Now this one was a little bit of a different story. You had a bit of a go here.
I did, yeah. So this first lap was quite entertaining actually. Yeah. So if I just pause it there, it's just coming up to the turn 3.
Yeah.
So I could kind of see it starting to get a little bit spicy between Colin and Jay.
Yeah.
And it was giving me flashbacks of Donington. I was like, go on boys, go on, get into each other. You can have a bit more than that.
Yeah.
But it was almost trying to be tactful from my point. I was trying to keep them together. So whoever was behind, I'd just nudge up to the back of them and push whoever was behind into the gap so that they would then fight going into the corners.
Right.
So if it was Colin on the outside of Jake, I'd push Colin in to make sure he had an overlap so the two would sort of start fighting amongst each other. It didn't really work as I wanted it to, but they were certainly chipping over each other.
Yeah.
And I was sort of just sat there going, as soon as you boys have one, I'm going to be in. I'm going to be at the inside of that.
You see that a little bit here. And I think we get a view from your.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the little touch to get Jake back into the mix. So they can then start battling.
And you're a BMW wall, and you're just waiting for someone to make a mistake, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
Taking them early, getting the BMWs early. And that's what you're trying to do there.
Well, yes, but the trouble is it's hot.
Yeah.
So you didn't get that big advantage that we have, because for every two that every two pluses that the BMs have, we have two counters to it. So yes, there's always an argument that the rear-wheel drive car is stronger, but we have advantages as well. We're not going to try and gloss it up. We've got little bits that work for us.
Of course.
And that first lap is that. So the BMs get a very good start, get a very good launch, but then they're always vulnerable throughout that first lap. Yeah. So that's when we have a chance to pounce. Apart from, I think the track temperature was something like 50-something degrees, which is mental. So they've already, by the time they've driven round, the tyre's up to temperature. So we don't have that sort of first lap. Right, let's try and hit it hard. Right. Let's try and take a chance when we can. So you just have to again be in the mix. That if they do trip over each other, you're there to capitalise.
Yeah. So quite early on, you're playing for third.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah, and you secured third. Another third. Now this was race 3. So
yeah,
as you
race
can
3.
See, starting somewhere.
Well, again, I don't understand the reverse grid, so who knows where I would have started.
So it is a little bit of a highlight for you. I'm going to pause it there.
Yep.
So it's kicking off in front of you again. We've got Collard.
Yep.
And we've got
Rowbottom. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, that's it. I think we started 7th.
Yeah, something like that.
So we did get through. We managed to get forwards. We managed to get into the mix. But I could say I had a bit of pace, and I wasn't that fussed about trying to be pointsy. So we come up to the last lap.
Yes.
And I'd sort of close the gap on Ricky over the course of, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps, however many it would have been. Spence was obviously counting me down.
Yeah.
Was letting me know the hybrid positioning of right, Ricky's used all of his hybrid, or he's 5 laps to go, he's got 4 left. I thought, bingo, because I've got 5 left.
Yeah.
So he told me that he'd used it. So starting that last lap, Spenny comes on, right, he's used all of his hybrid up. Bingo, I've still got a lap of hybrid here. I've saved it for the last lap. So I've still got full deployment. I've got 15 seconds. Yeah. So half a second in my back pocket of hybrid deployment. So we managed just to sort of get a bit of an old switcheroony, really. So we got going into the first corner, I managed to get a really good run through, close the gap, good run out of 2. He slightly defended into 3, got a bit of a switch, and it was just a bit of a game of cat and mouse, really, which was quite good fun. It was like almost like indoor karting, you know, you just like it's just cars and also. So I managed to get my nose underneath him. Yeah. Coming out of Agostini, and he's given us a bit of a squeeze. Look at the garage.
And this was you know what? This is quite a cool thing, and you can see it kicking off the back of here, and this is the noise that you're getting. Could not take my eyes off
it. When it all goes to silent. It was really difficult in that situation because I've been around the championship long enough to consider myself fairly experienced with it. So you can kind of take risks and manage risks, and you can sort of understand the situation that you're putting yourself in. Yeah. And it was difficult in that situation because I knew that Ricky hadn't yet had a podium, so he was going to be desperate for it. I managed to get an undercut coming out of Agostini, so I thought he's going to be punchy here. And the really difficult thing is not to risk getting taken out. Right. Because I knew Ricky was really keen to get the position back. Right. So it's just trying to play it with minimal risk. Yeah, it was obviously a little bit late, and incidentally he got past. But after the race, the positions were reversed. Yeah. So in terms of the championship, because this is what I loved about our last chat. You know, how important, looking back, is it that you stayed level-headed and stayed out of that? Because again, a little thing, a little sort of a mistake or something there where you're not thinking you're chasing third. As well, and all of a sudden could derail the championship. You might not be in a position at the end of brands. Yeah, and also with that as well, I was aware that I was outscoring Jake and Colin at the same time. So I'd lost sort of 8 points to him in the first race, but it was then sort of outscoring him by that. So I was aware that I kind of needed to stay there to make sure that I was going to be in a good place, really. Obviously, we've got a race day ahead of us at Snetterton. It is a home track for us as well. We sort of forget that. Yeah, it is. But it's a home track, and you get that feeling, the amount of people the amount of fans that go. But yeah, what do we expect? I mean, it's completely different. Brands Ingram to Snetterton. You cannot get more different. Well, I think the weather's looking good. We're looking like we're going to be fairly settled for some sunshine, which will be nice. And that has probably hampered our performance so far this year because we've not really had any consistency. Right. We've had a completely different day on Saturday to the day that we've had on Sunday, both at Brands and at Donington. Donington and Brands, I should say. So there's not been a huge amount of consistency. So, as I say, looking at it, it looks like we're going to have a dry weekend, which will be great. If it can stay dry all the way through and have the same weather for the Saturday that we have on the Sunday, great. It means it's all a bit more consistent for us. But again, I think we just need to make sure that we're in a good point scoring place all the way through. Just be a bit boring again. And, I know it's becoming a bit of a habit, but I'm also aware that we've yet to have a win so far this year. So I wouldn't mind one of them at some point this weekend. Fair enough. I like the fact you mentioned that. Be boring, but let's get a win. Yeah, of course. We've got to be boring, but then also get a win. That's how it works. Yeah. No worries. All right. I think that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks, sir. But we are going to discuss Thruxton very, very soon because Thruxton is next up. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be good. The fastest track in the UK. Should we get some breaded chicken? You need to go get some breaded chicken and stuff. Yeah. Fantastic. There we go. Thank you, mate. Speak soon, mate.